We're live.
Hello, world. We are
We
live.
we did it. This is the eighth time, not consecutively, but we hit the button right.
I
We
was going
we
to say,
we
I
turned it
think we
on.
didn't hit the button at least twice out of those
Yeah.
8 times. So we're to
We
good. What is that, like 60, 80% somewhere in there?
This is our 2 month anniversary. We're just crushing it, Paul. We are now over 400 dedicated souls who want to know the truth behind the curtain. Is it moonshine? Is it lemonade? Josh Dendy. I'll never tell you, but I'm in a great mood.
I'm feeling pretty good about our 400 odd subscribers, all being probably at least mostly North American. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I haven't run the Bangladesh ad campaign yet. That'll be next week.
Good, good, because I expect that to go up by another 10, 12,000 overnight. That'll be
Speaking of
pretty
subscribers,
good.
have you ever gone on Social Blade, the website?
I know of it, but I haven't.
Oh yeah, so it's a fun one. I thought about running like everybody in the community through Social Blade just to see like how everyone trended over time. But it's funny if you guys are ever curious. You can go on, take like a YouTube channel, and you can drop it in. It's like socialblade.com or something like that. And it'll literally show you like, oh, they average like 100 viewers, 100 new subscribers a month, 200 new subscribers a month. This month they got 7,000 subscribers. Then the next month they got 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers.
That
Oh
sounds
man.
dangerous. I'm not sure I want to know that information. I'd rather just believe everything happened organically and there's just some really, really
That's what
awesome
it is.
YouTubers out there.
That's exactly what it is, Paul.
Yeah,
That is exactly.
I'm
Who we
gonna
got in the
believe that.
chat? I see we got Biggie D in the chat. What's up, brother? How you been?
Yeah, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Give everybody their
That's right.
props. So One Up Uncensored is here.
Good.
Josh Dendy is here as always. Appreciate your support. And you were number 3,
Dude,
which is
I think Josh Dendy's trying to go for like a chat record today. Like he's keeping it
pretty good.
alive.
It's pretty good. I'd give it to
Keeping it
him.
alive. There he is.
Biggie D's probably right behind him though. What's up, guys?
Consistency. Biggie D gets the consistency award. I don't think he's missed a show yet.
No, and appreciate the shout outs on your channel, Biggie D.
Hell yeah.
Vic Vicious is here. Oh, he's got the questions already. Great. We're gonna go back to some of those as we're able to. Dark Tech Kelly. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you,
Absolutely.
Tom Ball.
There he is.
Yeah.
Neo's arcade news. Who's that?
He's some
What a
asshole.
loser.
Yeah, I just got to skip right over him. Let's see.
Yeah, sure.
I already caught these guys, Josh. Yep. Good
Yep, yep, yep.
comments. We're going to go back to those in a minute. See if I missed anybody else here. Okay, we got we got my buddy historian.
Oh,
He is
there we go.
he's our community manager. He is probably best known as the first moderator of the Arcade1Up subreddit. And
Whoa, royalty in the house.
you guys have seen his posts recently. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if we got the historian, why are they listening to dumbasses like us, Paul?
No idea.
No idea. Welcome to the chat, brother. Thanks for gracing us with your presence.
He's been here from
Nice.
day one. He's been the one to break some of these stories recently, which is awesome. He's been documenting everything. So yeah, he's right there in the thick of it. So I love seeing him tonight. Thumper Squid is here. Hello, wonderful gamers. Hello back to you. Ted Adam Green is here. King Ed AV. Arcade One Up forever. Well, maybe in some form.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a reincarnation.
yeah, something like that. We'll take it. We'll chat more about that. Burnt oranges. I need all the info.
All the info.
I'd settle for any of the info that's legitimate at this point.
Nope, it's gonna be all made up, Paul. We are gonna flip the script tonight. Instead of the truth, we're just coming out with jokes and trolling. Let's go, team.
That is mostly what we do anyway, so that's
That's right.
fair. Okay, Cajun Sizzler is here. Love this intro music. It's the intro music I forget to turn on every single time. There's always like a 20 or 30-second delay, and I'm like, oh, crap, I got to hit the button. So,
Yeah.
it's always about hitting the buttons, and one
Just
of
hit the
these days.
buttons. That's 90% of
Yeah,
the job.
that's my entire job. Didn't pay Pacers fan. Hey
What's up?
everyone. Hey, right back at you. Good to see
Pacers.
you.
He's a regular too.
He is.
Every week. Every week. Missed you last week because we weren't at work.
That's true. Yeah, we actually both had family stuff going on, and it was all good.
And there was nothing in the news, so it was fine.
It's nothing at all was happening in the category.
Nothing.
I caught you before here, Dark Tech. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I recognize this name. Potion Sword Run. It's choose your adventure there in your name. I love that. What does it all mean? If you figure it out, let us know.
I mean, it sounds like a good strategy in life. I mean,
Yeah, do the potion and then
do the
sword
potion,
and
grab your
run.
sword, just start running. Like,
Yeah, I like
sounds-
that.
speed run life.
Unchained 81 here for the free food buffet.
Oh, every week gets lied to. Someone keeps telling Unchained 81.
Did I put that in the thumbnail? I might have put that in the thumbnail. If not, I'm
Free
going
food.
to. Yeah. Cajun Sizzler is in the chat.
Sure is.
Awesome. Is Real Gaming. Good to see you again, buddy.
Checking in on that Area 51, seeing if it's coming to life. I see you, brother.
I've not forgotten that.
Not forgotten. Brother
End
from another
of
mother.
line. End
Hey.
of line. 4460 is here. And let's see. Oh, Thorcade. Is it
Nice.
Thor KC that you prefer or Thorcade? I'm going to go with Thor KC.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Hungry Wolf Garou. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Arcade Star Wars fan. Oh, it just keeps going. My gosh, we're going to have to stop doing this after a while. I have to get better at it like P-Dubs. He just rolls right through, just reads them. It's very fast. Let's see. Kev Gretz here. Good to see you, Kev.
You skip my cock
Who'd I skip?
hurts. You skip my cock hurts. What's up?
I don't. That's what she said.
That's the one I look forward to saying every week.
You
Come
got to
on.
say it. Why
I
do you
got
think I
to
skipped
say
it?
it.
Just so you could say it.
Kev Gret, blowing our cover, man. I've been working out of Pakistan under my alter ego, answering the phones.
Manny's
Keeping the people
here.
happy.
Manny's in the house.
Moat.
Moat is here. Teach me something. I sure hope we can. I will take anything.
Teach you what not to do.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
Alan Jones. Good to see you. I think it's a new name. Triumph or Die is here. Hope you have some good news. I think we might. That'd be
There's news.
yeah.
There's news. Is it good news? Is it bad news? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's gonna be more good than bad. We'll see.
I think
Yeah.
it's mostly good.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, my buddy B Kirby's here. Glad to see you. We had a good chat earlier
Yeah,
this
B
week.
Kirby. Nice. What's up, brother? Good to see you on the show.
Great guy, legit. He's one of those keeping it real in the community. I appreciate
sure is.
what Bill does. And if you guys haven't checked out his channel, you should do that. I love his sort of like slow burn builds. They're just like they're casual life story. Just like you just can chill and yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, oh yeah, okay. Hey guys, Arcade1Up making new stuff next year. We're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff. Thumper Squid. Oh my gosh, everybody's here. John's here. Holy cow.
Shout out to customer service, man. He's a real dude. All right, guys. The truth comes out. He's been my source the whole time. I've never bought an arcade game in my life. I just call Manny and he tells me what's up. Is he like that? Like I'm starting to question reality. Like
I
after
think
seeing
he's a
all
real-
the back and
I think
forth,
he's a
I'm
real
like,
guy. Yeah.
I thought he was a real guy, but
No,
now I'm questioning. Like, what do I know?
I
Maybe
like
he's
the-
not.
I like the idea. I think it was Rexer said Manny is the name they give anybody in tech support. It's just like everybody is Manny.
Everybody's bad.
I don't know if that says more about Manny or less, but the real Manny, shout out to you. Hope you're doing all right. But anyway, I think I got through just about everybody that happened to put something in the chat. So appreciate you guys being here. We're just going to start diving into some stuff. Obviously, just a quick kind of preface. There's going to be stuff that we can't talk about or that we don't know about necessarily. Obviously, we are not Basic Fun. We are not Arcade1Up. In fact, who are you, Kevin? You might as well introduce yourself for anybody that's new.
There might be new people here, yeah. So if you don't know, my name's Kevin. I work with Spreetail, and so far I've been doing a lot of the purchasing and the selling for these arcades. So I know a few things. I have an idea of where things are headed. I talk to people who make these things, and a lot of people seem to have questions. And we thought, hey, why not give people at least the answers that we can share when we can share them without blowing out anybody's business plans. Don't want to give away the trade secrets, but we can always pull the curtain back just a little bit, give people a little peek at what's going on. So that's what I do.
And I am Paul. I am Neo Hyper 64, and I am the pain in Kevin's ass every week, almost every day.
Yep,
that's pretty much my role. So
keeps me honest.
So here we are. And yeah, so we're going to just dive into some questions. Again, not everything can necessarily be answered, but we'll try to go through some of the ones that we can talk about. Kevin, do you want to talk about anything right up front, or do you just want to get into the questions? I'll kind of leave it open. We haven't actually talked a whole lot about, we don't have a script for tonight, so anybody thinking there's an agenda or whatever, there's not. Just wanted to try to answer as much as we can.
Yeah, we'll play a little fast and loose with it. So the big news, right? There was a post that was put out. It showed up, I think, everywhere. Paul, where is there anywhere it didn't show up? I don't think I saw it on like the grocery store like wanted bulletin board, but everywhere else, I think in my life, I saw this post talking about an assets purchase. So right off the bat, right, that was an officially written up post from the Basic Fun team, right? That was their way of reaching out directly to the community to let them know that they had made some purchases. They had been doing a little bit of shopping here, so we could talk about that. What does that mean as far as everyone's concerned? But right off the bat, just want to be clear. Hey, you can look at the bottom right-hand corner. That's got a Basic Fun logo, confirmed from the Basic Fun team. They wanted to reach out. We did give them a little bit of feedback, or when I say we, talking with them, just to make sure things are transparent in the future. And this was kind of a Michael B call out a couple weeks ago. But it's like, hey guys, like, let's put this stuff up on the website too, right? Like if you've got the official Basic Fun website, that might cut down on a little bit of the speculation. Where did it come from? Was this the Arcade1Up team? Who put this out? What does this mean? Blah, 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 blah. So I think hopefully, they'll take that advice and, maybe we'll start seeing that. I thought that was a good idea though. We love coming on every week. We love sharing the stuff, but no need to be the one to break the first piece of information. We're here Thursday at 7:00. If it lands in our lap, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll still talk about it.
And so this one too made sense to come from something corporate. I mean, there's certain things that are kind of like, does corporate need to talk to you about side art? Well, I don't know, probably not. But do they need to talk about an acquisition? Yeah, maybe. That might be a good thing for the company to have an official announcement about. So that definitely makes sense. But and one of the things too is I sort of questioned, like, some of the wording actually sounded to me very Arcade1Up like. That game on at the end, so certain little tells like that. So that's why initially I was kind of like, did Arcade1Up write this and get Basic Fun's stamp of approval? No, it actually came from Basic Fun. So there you go.
Yeah. So. Right off the bat, people wanted to know, like, is Arcade1Up the company closing, or what was the purchase? How does everything work out, right? So, without getting like too into the like, hey, let's look through all the documents and do a line by line analysis. When they're saying they're buying assets, I think the metaphor, I got a couple metaphors for people who might not be business savvy in the world, right? So let's think of Arcade1Up if we can envision this. Let's picture Arcade1Up as a house that's burning down. Okay.
I love how your metaphor goes right for
but I think
the inside, like, half burning on fire.
Yes,
the windows banging.
That's right. There's explosions going off. Like, You think
Good.
the sprinkler's going to go off, and then it just explodes because it's full of gasoline instead of water. It's chaos. It's chaos. So for this metaphor, and I'm not saying Arcade1Up was burning down. Of course not. They were doing a great business. But let's say Arcade1Up was a house that was burning down. Now, you Paul, a man of obviously unlimited means, are strolling down the street, and you have your bag full of just gold bricks, and you're like, I want to go buy something today,
As I do.
because you are a man of unlimited means.
That's how I roll.
So you see this house that's on fire. You're probably not going to go buy a burning house, right?
No, not in that state. No,
No, not in that state.
not the
But
flaming parts. Maybe the not flaming parts.
exactly. So maybe while you're walking past the house, you notice that the house is on fire, but there's a beautiful Corvette sitting in an unattached garage. Well, that would make sense.
I was just thinking, what if there was a Corvette in that detached garage?
Exactly, and
Funny you should say that.
there's a Corvette in the unattached garage, right? So there's an easy purchase. I don't have to buy the whole burning down house, but I saw this Corvette over there, and in the backyard you saw like a trampoline that's in great shape. Why not scoop up that trampoline before it burns down, right? So
do
when
that.
we're looking at the way that this is phrased. That has acquired select assets. As a company, Tastemakers, with the Arcade1Up brand, they had things potentially that could have had some value. So, what kind of things could a company have? A company has, let's say, blueprints, ways that like files on how things have been manufactured, what specific parts have been used, what kinds of paint have been used, things of that nature. They're going to have, maybe they have tools for factories, right? So things that have been invested in that could produce more products in the future. Maybe they have patents, things of that nature. So there are sort of different levels of assets that could be purchased. And if you're not 100% sure on the difference between like an asset and a liability, you should read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read that book, be careful, because what will happen is you'll read it, you'll think you understand it, you'll quit your job, and then you'll lose a lot of money. So don't do that. Read the book, though. It's a great financial book. Everyone should read it to understand business. But anyway, so they came in and they grabbed some assets, things that they think will make them better in the future. So from that standpoint, it's a great day. It's a great day. A company with a bit more stability got quite a bit better. Dare say they leveled up. If we could keep to the jargon, right? Another way that I would look at it, I like my metaphors, right? So another metaphor I would use is, you'll like this one. Well, it's a different Neo, but picture Neo in the Matrix, right? Neo plugs in and learns Kung Fu. He comes out, he's like, oh, now I know Kung Fu. We can all agree that in the first sort of iteration of the arcade cabinets that Basic Fun made, there were a few things that people said, well, Arcade1Up did this part better. Arcade1Up did that part better. We liked Arcade1Up's coin molded or molded coin doors, things of that nature. Well, we could assume that through asset purchases that Basic Fun has essentially plugged into the Matrix and now knows, as far as production goes, pretty much anything that Arcade1Up knew. So we would expect that going forward, that's the level of quality and the amount of lessons learned that we'd be able to see in future products. So to me, that's exciting. They don't have to necessarily relearn how to build the wheel. They've got the schematics on the wheel now, the wheel that everyone is expecting, and then they'll be able to sort of go forward with that. So I think that's the first part. And then obviously they have the name, right? They have the name Arcade1Up.
So I guess, one of the first takeaways that I'd maybe get out of that is some of the things that people were saying, well, Arcade1Up always gave us this and this, or they did this way, or they executed this part better maybe than what we thought we were getting, from Basic Fun, the bottom line might be, well, now all of those things Basic Fun will be capable of delivering because now they know how it was done and or have the capability to do it, etc. So that maybe that gap or that difference, should be eliminated.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question just to kind of get things going. And again, none of this is scripted. So Kevin doesn't know what I'm going to ask. I don't know what he's going to answer or if he even can. There may be a whole heck of a lot of no comments tonight. And that's not a reflection on anyone in the chat. That's just kind of the way it is. But my first question, and one that I've heard a lot, is will the Arcade1Up name be used instead of Arcade Classics moving forward, or will the two coexist, or none of the above and something else might happen?
So that's a really interesting business question. I've been asked that question. Papa Brad's Gaming? No, it's not Moonshine. I love the question though. It's a good question. The way I've answered the question is, if we just look at it from an e-commerce standpoint, Arcade1Up has Amazon listings, Walmart listings, etc., that have already trended in the algorithm, that already have a certain BSR, bestseller rank. They already have stars. They already have reviews. If you think of listings as real estate, we would say that they're very prime real estate. They're just if you advertise on them, they are very effective because they're just so well established. So from a business standpoint, it would make a lot of sense to keep making things under the Arcade1Up name. And I don't know 100% if they're going to transition completely to the Arcade1Up name. But to me, that would probably make a lot of sense. That was sort of my advice. Arcade Classics always had like the smaller handheld line, which were totally cool, right? Like that's a cool thing. But that's a little bit different. And just from an advertising standpoint, to try to build up a new brand name on the interwebs and get that same level of traction, would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars easily. So it would be a really easy decision in my opinion. And that's the advice that I gave them.
And that's always been my argument too. Could be some people have said, well, Arcade1Up, the name has a lot of baggage from whatever issues they've had in the past. And there's some validity to that. And some of you even talked about, oh, well, when you try to go get a new title or whatever, you got to say, oh, we're not that Arcade1Up, we're this Arcade1Up, which may all have some level of truth. But to me, your point is also very valid, where the average customer does not know and will probably never know what an Arcade Classics is. And you're also not going to use the word or name Basic Fun, your company name. At least I wouldn't think you'd want to, even though they have put that on the product they've had so far. So to me, it would just make sense to use the Arcade1Up name that's already out there. The past is the past. Just start executing moving forward, and you build on the brand and make it better. But I don't see value in throwing away the equity that you do have, even if it's just recognition alone. That whole saying about like no PR is bad PR. Well, of course some actually is, but the awareness level that people have for that name. You've got 30,000 people in a Facebook group. You've got 60,000 plus in a subreddit, all under the Arcade1Up name. You know how much you have in an Arcade Classics Basic Fun version of those same places? Maybe a couple thousand if you're lucky. And those are just people that happen to be very invested. So,
and that's just the people. The other part is it comes back, all of it comes back to, from my point of view, the algorithms, the way Amazon, prioritizes what's going to show up. If Basic Fun said that they wanted to make Title A and they were going to put it under the Arcade Classics line, For me to get that to the point where if you searched, new home arcades on Amazon, for me to get that on the first page would cost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not exaggerating. It's extremely, extremely expensive to get on that first page, especially above the fold in that first 3-line spot. So if you already have Arcade1Up, which is already organically, I mean, like Pac-Man is organically like right at number one, right? They've sold so many that you actually wouldn't even have to advertise it. It's just going to show up at the number one spot.
Yeah,
so
why throw that away? Why give?
It wouldn't make sense. I would be absolutely shocked if they did that. Obviously, I can't speak for them, and it is an open discussion. But all signs point to it makes sense to continue under the Arcade1Up name. Like I said, even if it's just from a marketing and everything else standpoint.
Yeah, and I also can't see a reason to confuse the market by continuing arcade classics unless you do it, for example, for a very specific product line like the handhelds, which was out there, anyway, and kind of its own thing. It's not a space that Arcade1Up ever occupied at that small size and price point. So that to me would be the only reason to keep that name. But okay, well,
Kirby's guy. I like the way he put it. Arcade1Up was only tarnished in a handful of YouTube content creators' eyes or minds, not the majority of people who bought 4 million cabs. It's foolish to think otherwise. It was a smart acquisition. I mean, that's succinct. It doesn't work for if you need to stretch this whole conversation out for an hour, but that's exactly hitting it on the head, right? The vast majority of people in the world do not know any of the backstory on Arcade1Up, never will know the backstory on Arcade, and probably, frankly, don't care. If they see a cool game and a cool cab, they'll be like, oh, that'd look awesome in my basement. Done.
And that's the thing. To me, it's if you've got the right title and you execute it halfway decently at a reasonable price point, nobody cares whose name is on it. It could be, Arcades by Bob. Who cares? If you're getting what you want, at the end of the day, nobody's going to really care. But to your point, with the algorithms and the placement, just getting the word out there about the products, it would seem to me, business-wise, a foolish decision to part with a name that already has that much momentum and equity and everything else. So
and from a customer service standpoint, or people were very upset this year about. The costing was high. That's been a hot topic. The costing was higher this year than last year. Well, when you're launching a new brand from nothing, there's an investment that needs to be made in marketing that brand to even bring it visibility, right? If you're using an existing brand name that already has recognition, is already trended, already organically placed high in whether it's Google, whether it's Amazon, Walmart, wherever you're at, well, then that means you can cut your advertising budget, significantly. If you can cut your advertising budget significantly, you can also cut a bit of your costs significantly.
That helps with everything, of course. Yeah.
The idea is, how do we make the most financially efficient decisions? That's what keeps the costs lower.
And that's all one of those pain points that we've been harping about. So I think that's all relevant. I like the question here by Mike Hawkhertz. Get me saying it now. If you can answer it, I know we've sort of talked about this. I don't know how much you can go into it, but I thought it's a good one.
Yeah. So this is my ongoing crusade. Is how do we spread some product out? We're obviously working on what are we looking to purchase next year. We look a couple years out, to be honest. I mean, because what you bring in this year affects what you can bring in next year, et cetera. So it is a multi-year plan that comes in here. But yeah, the idea is that that we could get a lot more efficient by flowing product throughout the year instead of bringing in, 90,000 units the last 2 months of the year. So that is a personal goal of mine. I hope it works out. If anyone's listening, it's a great idea. That's why I keep saying it. But yeah, no, that is In my opinion, it's still a holiday heavy toy. It's always going to be something holiday heavy. The first Arcade1Up that we ever got was my kid's grandma, getting them one for Christmas, right? So it will always be that. But at the same time, there's enough of us who are collecting them now, who are playing them, that if a cool title came out in March, we'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm down. Like, I'll grab
Yeah.
one right now. I don't care. I don't need a holiday. I'm a grown ass man.
Well, I think that's
Buy what I want.
that's the thing. Like, there's certain titles. I think your claw machines. Okay, that's a great holiday thing because that's for kids. For most of us, that's my kids loved it. A lot of kids love it. Families love it. Cool, but you're not going to sell probably a Mortal Kombat cabinet, for example, to your 12-year-old daughter. She's not going to care. That's not going to be, I shouldn't say sell, but you're not going to gift it like at Christmas. That's going to be something you go out and buy because you want it as an adult. So you're going to buy it. You're going to buy it when it's available, when you can afford it. And that could be any time throughout the year. It could be tax season, could be your birthday, could be, heck, I'm bored, it's the middle of summer, I'm going to go out and buy this, whatever. So to me, the idea that it needs to all be around the holidays, that seemed nuts to me because I feel like, well, then you're limited to how many you can really sell because otherwise you're going to sort of cannibalize your own sales. Why not just spread some of that out? And we, being the adults that we are with disposable incomes that we have, we'll buy it if it's what we want.
Well, that's never been, at least in the orders that I've had, that's never been an intentional decision. Like it's always been a result of like factory production cycles where they don't necessarily want to make 500 of this and then switch over a machine and make 500 of this and
Sure.
then switch. They want to make all 3,000 right now, because that's the most effective way to them. Well, in my opinion, and I speak only for me and myself, in my opinion, if you're handing somebody that many orders, for a certain size book of business, at some point there needs to be a closer partnership, and I hope that we're forging that. I know Basic Fun has some incredible relationships with the factories, which it's great to see. Just the way they're able to interact and sort of the reputation that they have among the factories is positive. And I don't know if officially we could say that about everybody else in the industry, but Basic Fun specifically does have a good reputation in that space. So that's something good to see.
That's excellent. I just noticed a comment here from Mo. I don't know if you can talk about this at all. I don't think this is necessarily specific to Basic Fun. I think it's more just what you like to see as a buyer.
Yeah, no. So I would love to have all like all the titles that you guys hate. I want them so bad. I want them so bad because they all sell so well, right? So you'll hate me. There will be a million Spreetail sucks videos that come out because, why does Kevin want Pac-Man? Because it pays all of the bills, right?
I'm going to do a short on this. So
Yes.
say that again. And I'll flip it right.
Shut up.
Right.
Shut up. I want the titles, obviously, that sell, 10, 15,000 units a year. Like, that's obvious. From a lot of the fan feedback, and I think B Kirby's always been pointing us this direction, is like, hey, look at the Gen X games, right? What were the Gen Xers playing? They're the fellas with the deep pockets right now, right? So that's definitely one direction I'm looking. I was always more of a shooter on my arcade games, so once I heard about Area 51 as an idea, I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I forget about this guy? Right?
Heck yeah.
That's always been a good one. I like Time Crisis. I'd love to see someone do Time Crisis 2 because that was a much better game.
It was.
So
How about a House of the Dead? You a fan of that?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. It would probably do well. I also really liked flying games. I don't have any off the top of my head, but I was always a really big fan of that format.
Heck yeah.
So I'd love to see a little more variety of the space as far as like let's get a little more flying games in there. Let's get a little deeper on the driving. When I picture what I would like my basement to look like in a few years, I want a few in each of the form factors. And not just joystick and 6 buttons.
I
I'd
love
like
it.
to
Yeah.
I'd like to mix it up a little bit.
Well, and again, just kind of as a reminder, especially for people that are newer, you're in a unique position where obviously you don't represent the company manufacturing them, but you're in a position to decide, at least to some degree, what gets purchased. So there's a unique relationship there where, yeah, you're not the license holder per se or anything like that, but if you're the guy writing the check,
Yeah.
so that kind of matters. That's kind of a big deal.
And another part of that, the whole acquisition thing too is, and I mean, I'm not saying that I have access to this, but theoretically, Basic Fun would also kind of have all the sales history to be able to see what form factors worked well, what games have worked well in the past. Are there games that maybe Arcade1Up took a stab at that actually did really really well, but then for whatever business reason they never came back, kind of deal. So we always call that the vault. So I'm curious to see what all is in the vault. Gen X is the core of home arcade. It actually goes deeper than that, Burnt Orange. I missed out on being Gen X by like 3 years. My cousins are all Gen X, and I have a healthy fear of Gen X because I'm well aware of what Gen X is capable of. So I can piss off the entire arcade community, but I will make sure that I never say a bad word about Gen X. Because that's when you'll see I just stop showing up for the show because someone will find me and that'll be the end of it. So
That's why he doesn't respond to half of my texts because he
Absolutely.
doesn't have anything good to say. They're just
No,
left unsaid.
just let the Gen Xer calm down. They've got a coping mechanism. They were left in the wild. They'll figure it out.
That's literally true. Oh man.
Nothing but love, Gen X. Don't hurt me. Don't
Oh
hurt me.
man. Yeah. Okay. Well, we should probably actually take some real questions. Not that that wasn't a real question, because it was certainly a good question actually. But I know there's some specific questions about the acquisition, and I think we should start entertaining some of those specific questions more directly.
Yep.
So let me just kind of dive in.
Gabriel Gray coming in hot.
Yeah, there we go.
Jeez.
Okay. We're talking about shooters. We're just talking about House of the Dead again.
I thought.
Yeah.
I think there might have been some crossover. It was a subtle threat on my life, I believe. Josh Denny, my favorite color is green. Like the money that Pac-Man prints every single day.
Okay, so we gotta. I knew you sort of addressed this already, and somebody earlier, I didn't highlight this, but the comment was, why does everybody hate Pac-Man? It keeps these. The thing is, it does keep these. It's sort of like the analogy of why did Porsche start making SUVs? It's not because Porsche owners said, "Oh yeah, I don't need a 911 turbo. I'd much rather have something that's a glorified minivan." It was because they needed to sell in volume so they could make enough money to fund the really advanced tech that goes into the 911 and the 918 and every other car that they wanted to make. So they had that volume in that model and then the subsequent models as well. So this Pac-Man is basically it's your SUV of the home arcade world. It's not the most interesting. You're going to see a ton of them out there, but there's a reason they exist.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, the minute somebody says, "Oh crap, Basic Fun's doing another Pac-Man," I don't know if they will or not. If they did, or some other title that we've seen a lot of, they're going to instantly say, here we go again. There's not going to be anything new. But to me, that just says they're investing in the future by putting out a product they know is going to sell reasonably well so that they have enough money to be able to do these other things. Because it's, we can't do just niche products all day.
I have a theory, and the more knowledgeable individuals in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. You always do. I don't think people actually have a problem with Pac-Man. I think that the problem people have is that every year when they were ready to hear something new was coming out, and there was a teaser that there's a new thing coming, and then it was like, what if Pac-Man was slightly different? And you're like,
Yeah.
so I think like after that happens 3 years in a row, it's just like, dude, make the yellow Pac-Man and just like that's fine, right? Like I have a Pac-Man, you have a Pac-Man. Like Pac-Man's, it's a fine game, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with Pac-Man, but you have to be able to do new. And I think that that's the issue. No one actually hates Pac-Man. It's that nothing new was coming, and
That's
all
it.
you ever saw was Pac-Man. So then Pac-Man became the face of the same shit, different day,
That
and
exactly right.
you're just
Yes.
like, fine, whatever. Oh, you have to make a neon Pac-Man. Get out of here. Kev
A
Gret
slim Pac-Man.
Kev Gret actually had a question in here, and I'm going to scroll up because I'm going to paraphrase it. But to paraphrase, and you'll find it,
Yeah.
it was like, how do we know that they're not going to make the same mistakes? Obviously, they stumbled
Oh.
right out of the gate on some stuff.
Yeah. Here we
And
go.
this is actually a really good question, and
Yep.
part of the reason why I do have a healthy amount of faith in Basic Fun. This isn't Basic Fun's only line of business, right? Basic Fun, this is what they do. They take brands that did well, that had a following, that there is a standing market for that brand, and they figure out like, okay, what parts of this brand work, what parts have longevity, how do we keep this brand alive? But they don't have to sink or swim just on this. So they want to make a healthy category. They want to have good titles. They want things that are going to sell, but they don't necessarily need to squeeze every single drop from the potential. You know, we don't need to have Pac-Man in 17 different form factors and a Slimcade and then a classic SE and then with the ride. Like they don't need to do all that. They don't want to do all that. They want to make the games that are that people want to play, they're gonna sell. That's a solid business, but then not try to overextend. I think that from the outside looking in, just analyzing business, Arcade1Up really exploded during COVID, right? When you're getting massive checks and being told to stay home, arcades make a lot of sense. Why not? Well, I think that once you start to ride that wave, or chase the dragon, if you will, you start, like chasing those kind of numbers. It's really difficult then to then see those fall off. It's like, okay, well, where can we plug in more? What should we change? How do we make this available in 17 different prices? And that's not Basic Fun's model, so they're not going to do that. I've also been really impressed with their maturity around like how they look at ordering. How can we make it more effective, more efficient? Do ordering that makes sense without just oversaturating the market to chase a quick payday this year. They want the brand to work this year. They want it to work next year. They want it to have longevity. So it's just a different mindset altogether. But that's why they'll make mistakes, but I don't think they're going to make the same ones that Arcade1Up made, or
Do you think?
Tastemakers, I should say, to differentiate.
Yeah. Well, good point. Yeah. No, I have to get that straight. We've talked about this a little bit, but do you think it's reasonably, we could say with some reasonable certainty that products, I'll just say like Slim Katie's, classic SEs, or whatever they were calling those, riser based products, certain ones like that are not necessarily something that that they're gonna be doing, because they know those are kind of things that were not well received, or at least were maybe kind of legacy sorts of products.
There has been no appetite in any of the conversations that I've had with them to continue with the sort of subpar form factors. There's deluxe and there's the XL size. Like those are the sizes, and exciting. We've already talked about it before, but they're actually very open to that conversation about having those XLs outside of the club, so that we have access to some.
That's a win.
Yep. and that's an active conversation, and it's been in all of our talks is, what would make sense. So there's no, as a buyer, I'm not asking for Slimcades. I'm not asking for classic SEs. We're not asking for risers. None of that. So I suppose someone else could ask it, but from the conversations I've had, Basic Fun really has no appetite in that area. It's not the real product. It's not what does well, and it just doesn't make sense if you're just trying to make really cool arcades.
Good. Good. I think I can speak for 98.9% of the community when I say good riddance.
Yeah.
I don't know if this, I've seen this come up a couple times. Again, not sure if this is one of the things you can comment on or even know anything about, but there have been some price adjustments that I've seen happening with certain Arcade1Up products specifically. Do you know, or can you advise if any of those look to be intentionally sort of discounted, or some other way are they maybe necessarily trying to like move certain product out, or is it just these are fluctuations we see this time of year and that's kind of all it is?
This is the time of year that, if you've got product, you want to make sure you're right size leaving the holidays. So anything that's on sale, essentially that just means, hey, we want to make sure that come January, I'm not sitting on inventory that's not going to sell till next Christmas. So that's as much as I would read into it. I don't have that part number, thankfully. So I don't have to answer for it, but that I wouldn't read too deeply into it. Just outside of, it's the holidays. If you're sitting on something that's been selling fairly slowly, now's the time of year where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. I mean, an example of one that I do have one wonderful Slimcade. I ended up with a bunch of those Wheel of Fortune monstrosities.
You did?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Jeez,
it was.
sorry.
I don't know how that happened. I'm still kind of kicking myself for it was one of those one-off, like, hey, what if we did this? We've got some of this. We'll give you a good deal on it, and then I'm just like, oh, this thing's terrible. But it's actually so. I mean, it's not. It's not an arcade. It's Wheel of Fortune. But I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. You should totally go buy one. Buy 5. Give them to all your grandmothers. They want one. But
They love the 8-inch screen in that, I hear.
but yeah, I mean, I've had them in stock for like 2 years, and now they're selling like hotcakes. So I'm like, please keep going.
Yeah, I don't expect. Oh, I mean, who knows? But I don't expect we're going to see that again in the future. Maybe we should kind of slide over to talking about the support slash ongoing, well, sort of support in general for existing products. And this is a server specific question, and there are some things that Code Mystics has said on Reddit for projects that they've worked on in terms of being able to play online, and I can pull up some of those things. But maybe Kevin, you can just talk kind of more generally about support for existing products.
Yeah, and that's an open conversation. I think you kind of alluded, there's 2 different levels of support. So we did see in their media share that they had put out that they're going to continue supporting customers. I know, like, they mean that initially, from my understanding, as far as like the physical products themselves. So they still want to be able to provide that customer service. It sounds like they're looking into all the different the different aspects of the online play, the leaderboards, like all that kind of stuff. And I don't have a firm answer on that. I just know that they're looking at it, and the desire is to take care of current customers. Obviously, they don't want to leave anybody hanging. And it's just a learning of pulling back the curtain, seeing how everything operates. What's that cost look like? How does that work? So, I think there's more to come there, but that's not one. That's not one where I'm going to speculate too deeply today. But it sounds like what I can say is from their conversations, their intention is to take care of current customers to the best of their abilities, and we'll see in time exactly how that all rolls out. But they seem pretty serious about it. So.
For folks who haven't seen what was documented on the Reddit post, I'm just going to put it up here quickly. The funny thing is, this was actually from a conversation that historian who was in the chat here, he had to leave early, but about 2 years ago, he asked the question, and he got a little heat for this. He's like, hey, what if Arcade1Up goes under? What's going to happen with the online play? And people were like, stop being so pessimistic. That's never going to happen. They're never going to shut it off. Well, here we are. It's relevant because we don't know what's going to happen exactly. Code Mystics, for their part, did reply, and they have, I'll say, sort of a workaround. It's maybe not necessarily ideal, but for the games that they developed that had online play, there is a solution that they have should that become a necessity. Again, we don't know for sure where things are headed with that, but that is potentially, an option. And you can go on the Arcade1Up subreddit if you want to read more about that, or contact historian CM. If you need a link to the post, and he can provide that as well. But there is some fallback that's been discussed if that's the case. I would guess, if I was in Basic Fun's shoes, I would be taking a hard look at everything, just to kind of see, the pros and cons of all of it, the cost, return, the ROI, all that stuff to, before making any kind of announcement. So I would suspect that's probably going to be, something further down the line that they just need more data on, before they can make that kind of decision.
Well, and obviously there's a lot of moving parts right now, right? So I would say, like, I'm seeing that this is probably the most discussion I've seen on the topic so far. You can imagine that online play doesn't necessarily come into my everyday, sort of topics to address. But obviously, looking at the chat, like listening to you folks talk, it sounds like it's something really important to you. I'll follow up with them. I'll try to get you an answer that's good as soon as possible. Give me a little bit of time. All right. I'm not a magician, but I'd love to sort of talk with them and see where their head's at. And when they have an official decision, I'll definitely talk about it. And maybe we'll be the first one. Maybe someone will leak an email first, and we'll be the 15th. I don't really give a rip. Either way, we'll make sure the news gets out.
I think what we could do is, Kevin, you can leak an email, and then I will leak an email saying that one was fake.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, if I could set it up so that I was just in a shadow. Like when they do the crime documentaries.
I like it. We'll manipulate your voice a little bit.
I was gonna get like one of the Darth Vader like voice changers like you can get at the toy store. I think there's still toy stores. I sound old. But yeah, like get like a Darth Vader voice changer, and then just sit in the dark, anonymous source.
You're not
with all the Warhammer in the background.
No, you're gonna be Manny. You're gonna be Manny from Arcade1Up.
I already am Manny. No, I'm just kidding. Cool. I don't want to be disrespectful to Manny. I think he is actually a real person.
No, I think he is. I think he is too, and I'm sure that was all perfectly,
nothing but love for Manny. We love Manny here.
Yeah. No,
shout out Manny.
Just having some fun with the current situation where nobody knew anything, so we had to all sort of, figure out what was going on.
Sounds like a great week to take off and let the dust settle, Paul. Man,
yeah, I know. I said nobody knew anything. There's a couple people that did know something, couldn't say anything. That was the irony of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, just
sit on our
week
hands.
To take off. Just watch it all.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's see if there's any more questions that should be entertaining. I know in the very beginning people threw some stuff up there. We didn't go through all of those. So for anyone that's has a question that we haven't been able to talk about in some form, put it back in the chat. We'll try to get through some of those quickly here as much as we can. The answer is going to be no, but I'll let you answer that.
No comment.
There you go. Need more Tato? Tato? I don't know. Potato.
I love the idea. I love the idea of more Tato.
Williams multicade. Okay. All right.
Dude, the chat was flying off. So seriously, if you put something in the chat earlier, There was a point where like I was trying to
I
read it, and
couldn't.
it was like it was scrolled
Yeah,
up before I could even read one. So
I couldn't keep up.
if you had a question and we didn't answer it,
Oh, this is.
it's
I've
not
seen
because we
this in.
hate you.
Yeah, not most of you, just maybe a couple of you, but Infinity Game Table. Have you
That
heard
is like
anything?
it is that is like one of the best selling products
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, it was for them.
I'm very interested in the Infinity Game Table itself. So that's one that I would like to keep alive if the powers that be and everyone on all sides of all coins agree with it. It's something like I said. I'm very interested in it. It's a great product, and where Spreetail does well is in the online space, and that's where it just never really got the representation. It was out of stock. It was poorly represented. It was just tough to keep that thing in because it sells so well. So I really like the idea of the Infinity Game Table. The board, not as much. I think my criticism on the board, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat, but I believe the board was like $500. It's 18 inches. It's essentially an iPad, but it's like
Hmm.
it's locked. So
Yeah.
it's more expensive than an iPad without iPad features. So it's a tough sell. Whereas the table, that's kind of cool. There was some improvements that could be made to it for sure. But that thing sells like hotcakes. It's
Do
an
you know I had
incredible.
one of those for a while? I don't think I
Did
ever
you?
mentioned that. Yeah, I had an
No,
IGT for a
no.
while. I had it for about 2 years. Yeah, yeah. There's some improvements. Yeah, it's a big heavy thing, so it's like it's not super portable. I think that was where the idea of the smaller one
Yeah.
came to be because they actually made a battery for the big one, but then it's like three TVs stacked on top of each other. It's like that thick and that
Wow.
heavy. So it's not bad if you've got like a permanent place. But in my mind, I was like, yeah, I could take it from room to room. In actuality, it stayed in one
It's a
room.
table.
Yeah, it is a table for sure. So pros and cons. It didn't work out in my scenario, but maybe like a version 2.0 would be kind of cool if
What
that came that way.
what would you say? So like the Infinity Table kind of has a modern design to it. What would you say if there was an Infinity Table that instead of having a modern design was like let's say like a wood grain looking type table that
Like an
just
actual
happened to have
table.
the but yeah well because it is furniture and it's $1,000 like it matters what it looks like
It does.
and I think one of the things that I've always said is it wouldn't necessarily look right in my basement it's my couch is brown I've got lots of wood
Mm.
no pun intended like a dark red carpet like to me a wood tone sort of table would look very nice there whereas something that looks like it's off the Starship Enterprise
Mm.
not quite as much of a fit so just kind of curious if
I,
anyone else thinks that form factor would be interesting.
It'd be interesting if there were, you couldn't necessarily do multiple SKUs, but if there was a way to maybe change, I don't know, like the bezel trim or some other aspect of it.
Why couldn't you do two? It's a variation.
I don't know. Maybe you could. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the buyer. You tell
Yeah,
me.
I'm not saying either or. I'm saying for the people who've played it and have had it, it sounds like B Kirby is picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, just to have the option because like I said, not everyone has a modern space. And if you have more of a warmer wooden sort of looking room,
Hmm.
maybe a variation that would same cost but with a wooden form factor might be more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think I do think the aesthetics of it because of the size and for what you are paying for it. Yeah, it's going to be important. So, oh, this is interesting. IGT and a pub table format. So you're kind of getting the whole thing. That's
Huh.
interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that would really that would kind of work around one of the issues that I saw with the Infinity Table where like if we're playing a game and I'm resting my hands on the table
Uh
and you're
huh.
trying to move your pieces on the other side, hands throwing it off. So if we have a nice round table where I can have my beer and my cigar and I can rest here
Yep.
while you're making your terrible move, and then I can come in and school you moments later after I've been comfortably resting without affecting the gameplay.
It's
That's
interesting.
Bobby, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Now we'll have to delete this chat so when it actually comes out, we don't have to give you any royalty. So
$1.
$1. Oh man. Hey, I like this idea, Biggie D.
Get John D to join the stream.
Maybe next year. That's 2 shows away.
Maybe next year. Hey, you know what? This isn't a specific to John D. But I've talked to a couple different people that I've thought, like that are either like part of a brand adjacent, industry involved, we'll say, and this kind of comes back to the topic that's been circulating around the past week. The number one feedback that I've gotten from people, I'd be like, "Oh, dude, come on, it'll be fun. Jump on the show." Is that the community is getting kind of rabid lately. Like is that who we are as a community? I mean, guys, can we do better? Like it's to the point where people are like, "Dude, if I go on there, man, people are just gonna." They're just gonna eviscerate me and rip me apart, and then it's gonna be like it's gonna be memes of this, that, and the third. Like that's the reputation we finally fostered. Like
Yeah. Well,
2026 is right around the corner. Like, can we get our Joey Swole on and do better? Like, can that just be as a team we all just agree? Like, can we do better than that? Like, these are arcade games, man. Life sucks. This is escapism. Why bring the suck into the escapism? I don't get it. I'll get off my soapbox.
yeah, I know. And John knows something about that. Obviously, he's lived through that. He's lived through people like me harassing him half the time. So he gets that. But yeah, I mean, it's tricky, and I think that's honestly one of the reasons that you don't have companies doing a lot of this, and one of the reasons that we decided to do the show, frankly, is because it was hard to get sort of direct communication out there. And obviously you're very connected because of what you do. And fortunately for the community, you're willing to talk about it. So I appreciate that because that's so much more than we've been able to get, I think, because of how the community is. But fortunately, you've got a thick skin and it just kind of, you understand what's happening. But it's tough. So yeah,
I drink way too much for anybody here to hurt me. I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, I laugh about it. Like, hey guys, like we're talking about games, right? What I'm trying to build just as my own professional space. It's not just for me. It's not just arcades. I like gaming in general. I think all games are great. I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids, and games are great for whether it's building up your reflexes, like keeping your brain smart and sharp, puzzle solving. Like there's so many adjacent things that you develop through gaming, whether it's board games, console games, tabletop games, card games, however you want to look at gaming, there's so much value and it is so good that I just want to bring as much gaming to people as possible. That's my mission. So I'll never be the arcade expert, unfortunately, Paul. That's why you're here. But I think arcades are a huge part of that. I mean, they're one of the coolest parts of gaming in general. They hit all the senses, right? Like I could sit down on my PlayStation. Yeah, it's going to be better than playing Galaga on my Pac-Man, right? Like for sure. But it's very sterile, It's very sterile. I don't get the lights. I don't get all the different colors. I don't get the cool feel of different controls and things. Casino Cades. That's what everyone needs to buy. Thank you, Josh Dendy, for reminding me. If you haven't picked up your Wheel of Fortune Casino Cade, you absolutely should do it.
This endorsement is not sponsored by.
I don't even sponsor this endorsement.
Yes, he certainly is. Oh, man. Yeah. It's funny too because arcade games were kind of communal by nature. You'd all go to this common space. This is before we obviously were all sitting in our living rooms playing online. We'd go to a physical place and you'd rub shoulders with somebody you didn't know. And yeah, maybe you'd get annoyed or they'd get annoyed or whatever, but it's like, hey, good game, move on, whatever. And that was the extent of it, and you all just kind of milled around and maybe got to know some people. You took your family or whatever, your friends, and we've
Well,
lost some of that.
and
Yeah,
and you know what? If you were good, you got to play for a long time.
yeah,
And if you were behind the guy who was good, like you would sit there and watch him play for 20 minutes, and then you would get up and be like, finally, and then some cheap bullshit would happen, and you'd be there for 30 seconds, then you'd have to go right back and wait till he was done. So,
yep,
it taught us patience. It taught us
yeah.
how to be better people.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, well, let's move back if we can, maybe to any lingering questions. And again, if you guys put something in the chat earlier on that we just kind of zipped through after saying hello to everyone that you'd still like us to try to address, would be happy to do that if you want to put it back in the chat, because there's probably a lot of stuff that we missed, and a lot of stuff I know has come up that I've already forgotten.
We might need to get a moderator at some point, Paul.
We should. Yeah, actually, I believe at least one person here in the chat has volunteered to do that. So we might look into that more.
If there's someone in the chat who volunteered to be a moderator.
Yeah, yeah. No, I haven't forgotten about that. There's just some logistical issues with the software. I gotta.
Oh,
Get
you'd
this
have to kick me
person-
off the show.
I have to kick your official. It's either I advance to the next stage of pricing, which is like an extra $40, or you have limited access. You still get to be a guest though, so there you go.
What would happen to my access? Because I don't do shit.
Nothing really. You'd maintain the exact same place that you have now, which is a permanent guest, basically.
That's all I am. I'm just a guest
So,
on this show.
Yeah, no. So we could make it happen, if we wanted to do that. But that is the reason it hasn't happened mostly because I have had, some folks, one in particular, reach out and offer that, which I think is a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. I'd love for that to be an announcement at some point because I think that would really spice up the channel.
Yeah, we'll go back and look at that. But speaking of going back and looking at things, I am kind of going back to the very beginning. I think we talked sort of about the aspects of this that we could, but parts specifically we didn't really bring up, and I don't know that we necessarily have a lot of information about it other than what you've already said about supporting in general.
It sounds from what I've heard, it sounds like the intention is to support. I could be wrong. I could have misheard, but I would also say like let the dust settle a little bit. There's a lot of supply chain logistics type things that need to be answered there. So I wouldn't expect anything like if you called in necessarily tomorrow. But I could be wrong. Manny's still, if Manny's still on the job getting it done, then maybe there's some stuff there. But I'll take that and the online question. I'm talking to the brand every day at this point. So those are two. And Biggie, I know you just hit that again. Those are two of my follow-ups. I think we've been a little more tactically in the weeds over the past few days, but these are important questions. And so I'll definitely go right back to the brand with them. But as soon as I have a great answer or just the answer, I'll share it with all you guys so that there's no. At least you know what you're getting, right? Whether it's a good answer or a bad answer, I'll let you know what the go forward looks like, and then you'll be able to make decisions based on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of existing inventory out there, obviously. So I think people are curious about, like, hey, if I buy this and something goes wrong, what's going to happen? Who's supporting that? What's happening to my warranty? Who do I call? And as far as we know now, things haven't changed, but obviously that's I think it's a pretty relevant question. We sort of answered this one earlier, but maybe you can say it more definitively that in this case, I think as much as we hate seeing more Pac-Man still sells. not just Pac-Man, obviously, but as a worst kind of example that we have in the category. But tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if no Pac-Man did harm, or if it's like, you know what, that was the only thing keeping the lights on, guys. Don't give him a break.
I so obviously I'm not going to
And not
try.
specifically, yeah,
I can't. Obviously, like I'm not sitting down with Arcade1Up's
right.
financial statements, and going through and saying like, it was this thing here, it was that thing here. But
Right.
what I would say is when you look at sort of the value of different licenses, right? Pac-Man is under that Bandai Namco license. You could run a business with just that license. You wouldn't need a ton of people. You need to figure out how to do the product. There's plenty of good games that fit in there, and you could absolutely run a business with just a Bandai Namco license in this space, and live very comfortably. Probably being a millionaire. I mean, it's they're great titles. They can keep a lot afloat. And so I would, if I was an arcade company, I don't know if I would say that that's what would have kept a company alive longer. But what I would say is, if I was that company, I would have protected that license and that sort of that relationship. Probably would have protected that one at all costs, right? Because just it drives so much revenue that can solve other problems. But at some point, other problems are still there. They don't go away. So
No, it's fair. Yeah. Yeah, this is one from a little from earlier in the show. Does the acquisition mean that they can no longer afford Qbert? Could they ever afford Qbert? Could anyone? It's a loss leader.
I will. I'll keep banging on the Cubert drum and see if we can get something out of that.
Oh man,
Apparently, it's fairly complicated to redo that whole block thing.
the knocker?
Yeah. Well, because you think about it,
Well,
when that came out, everything was analog. So
the
to have,
solenoid. I mean,
yeah, it's just a different. I don't know if you do exactly that or if there's a way to replicate that internally that would still give that sound. That
take
could work.
take a solenoid that they had from one of the past pinball, the V pin things. Take the part out of that. Do some engineering, fiddle with it. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Done. And you know what? If they totally screw it up, it's a forgiving community. Everyone will just come out and be like, you know what? They obviously tried.
That's what
They
I've
tried.
heard.
They put their best foot forward. Like, let's all go buy
Yeah,
this product and let's just
very
love these
supportive.
guys for trying.
Very supportive
Very
and
supportive.
loving, kind. Yeah, very forgiving. Let's see. I'm just going back through the chat here while we're looking at that. Is Arcade1Up making new stuff next year? Well, Arcade1Up never really did make stuff, but Tastemakers did. No,
Yeah,
basically, right.
so that's a differentiation, right? Arcade1Up is a brand, Tastemakers is a company. So I mean the Arcade1Up now resides with Basic Fun. So anything that would be made as Arcade1Up moving forward would be Basic Fun making Arcade1Up the same way that Basic Fun makes Connects and Lincoln Logs and Light Bright and Tonka trucks and all these other types of toys and brands. That's what you're gonna see now.
This was interesting. I don't know if there is anything that you can definitively say, no, they passed on that, and we know that. Obviously, you talked about sort of in a general sense the sort of like, hey, you've got good assets and you've got some things that are not good assets, or perhaps liabilities would be a better way of putting it. But is there anything that you're able to comment on that that they, it still resides with Tastemakers?
There hasn't, from an asset standpoint, I haven't had a conversation that said like, this asset we're leaving that alone or anything like that. That doesn't mean that they aren't there. I don't think that's something that I have to like no comment, but I haven't heard of anything that's like, oh, we don't want that. Like the things that make sense they picked up.
Is it? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it'd be fair to say that anything that was Arcade1Up branded is now, they cannot use that name. Correct. I mean, tastemakers can't use that name anymore. They don't. They no longer have that name.
Basic Fun owns the Arcade1Up name.
Right. Right. So among other assets, it would at the very least have to be called something else if they came out with it. Let's see here. Okay, let me catch up to real time and just see if I missed anything happening here. That's an interesting comment. The Collectorcade. Yeah.
What was that?
How would you even explain that, John? It was like it was a little bit like the Arcade Classics handheld line. I mean, it was just not a good product. I mean, it was kind of like a miniature handheld-ish arcade. That
like
was
quartercade size?
Smaller.
Okay.
Smaller, cheaper, and by cheaper I mean that in every sense of the word. Just not a good, just not a good product. I don't even want to give it too much airtime. It was not great.
Like was it a bad product or was it just not value for the cost? Because like I think I know what you're talking. It was like the arcades were like yay big-ish. Like
I don't even know how big it was. I never bought one. I don't even know how big it was. But it looked very plasticky. The deck on it was like oddly thick compared to the scale of the rest of the machine, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know if they used real arcade ROMs. Maybe they did, but it came off feeling cheap and not particularly well designed.
I was just like, because I like something like the smaller, just like little handheld like desk tchotchkes. I like to talk about.
What Basic Fun has though is a completely different price point. And that's the thing. Like I wouldn't.
It could be chintzy when it's $15.
Yes, cheap and cheerful. That's one thing, but not cheap and not well executed. Yeah, Biggie summed it up.
It was junk. Solid.
Pretty much.
Biggie with the scoop. Thanks, brother. Sometimes you gotta put it in like second grade lingo for me, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I gotta pull up this comment. This is great. I forgot about this.
The giant joystick.
Oh man. Wow.
What's the giant joystick?
You never saw those? It was like I don't even know how I can describe it without using some kind of description that would sound X-rated, but it was literally a large joystick that would sit in your living room. It was probably, I mean, John can describe it obviously much better than I can, but probably stood about, 3 feet tall, somehow interfaced with your television. I think an HDMI cable of some sort, probably a little box. I don't know. I think it was wireless, might have been Bluetooth. And you could, I guess, play games with this giant joystick. Please nobody clip that and turn it into a GIF, but it was bizarre. I tell you to Google it, but you might come up with some other stuff too, so maybe don't.
Google play with your giant joystick.
Yeah,
Got it. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Drop that in the chat.
Kevin's wife, you can thank me later for that suggestion in your husband's search history.
No comment.
Yeah. Kevin's not wrong. Kevin Clausen.
Shame on anyone that spends. I couldn't stand the Slimcade. I couldn't stand it. You know what? I'll tell you what. I was feeling kind of vindictive the other day, and I had a terrible idea, Paul. There's a certain YouTuber who keeps going around and saying that a certain title and a certain form factor has been confirmed. It's always getting confirmed. It's always confirmed. And it kind of bugs me because nothing's actually confirmed. Some people think that Mortal Kombat as an Excel is like a confirmed title, where I've said like I'm very interested in it. I've made my case. Basic Fun has said, "Hey, that's an interesting case. We'll get back to you." That's not confirmed. That's a conversation. But there's a YouTuber out there who keeps going on and on about this. So I was talking to one of my friends at Basic Fun, and I thought, you know what? If this guy keeps doing this, I'm going to design something worse than a Slimcade, and I'm going to name it after him. And it's going to be
corner.
it's going to be a Slimcade, but instead of a flat back, it's going to have an angled back, so that it could go into the corner of your basement.
You could call it a.
I would call it a cornercade.
There you go.
But the plug for it, the power cord, is going to be right at the tip of the corner, so that no matter how you try, this will never, ever sit flush in the corner of your basement. And it will be Pac-Man. And it will be the most vilified form factor and game of all time. And my response will be, I told you to stop saying that Mortal Kombat XL is confirmed, because it's not. I can't
have
think.
no part of this.
I think it's a
have
brilliant
no part of
idea. I'm very OCD, so to me, just the idea of it being in a corner and not actually being able to like go flush into the corner would drill like one side is always just slightly off, so you're not even 45 degrees. You're still just like a little bit like to the side.
Don't make it 90 degrees. Make it like 86 and a half. So
Perfect.
it never really. It just kind of rocks in the corner.
But the plug has to come straight out of the back of that. Straight out of that back corner, there's going to be like a hole drilled
so you can't
into
push it the whole way in.
You
right?
can never push, and it just comes. Don't do it. Don't say it, young man. Don't you say it.
I want to say for the record, Danny, I'm sorry. I had no part of this. I had no knowledge.
I'm not sorry, Danny. I'm not sorry at all.
Oh, man.
But next time you're on, I'll super chat you so you can get another Arnold Palmer. No hatred, brother. Just talking shit. But I'll do it. I'll do it.
There.
He's there. He showed up. Respect for showing up for the trash talk, man. It's all good.
I like it. But we all want that title, Danny. You're absolutely 100% right. I mentally have a place for it in my very limited space. If it happens, I will be right there with you. I'll be the first one to buy it. I'll be the first one to talk about it. I hope they do it. But
yep. Everyone wants it. I thought it was either that or for some reason the deal fell through. I was going to say that that when they went to talk to Midway, that Midway saw that Danny was saying that it was already confirmed, and that made him really mad. So Danny's the reason that title never came out in XL, and then that was just going to be like the opener for every show moving forward. Danny, I'm just trolling you, man. I am just trolling you. But I thought
so hard.
Just jokes, but man, it would be a fun time.
But it wouldn't be the first time that it was that it was rumored that somebody talked about a prototype or a leak or whatever that ruined some kind of pending deal. I don't know if that's ever happened, but it wouldn't be the first time it's been talked about. Gosh,
good times.
I love the corner idea though. That's a form factor we have not pursued.
It could not. I don't know if it could get worse. Maybe add a giant joystick that sticks right out of the front.
So you can't ever get close enough to play it. You have to like bend over.
Every time you die, it just whacks you in the nuts.
It actually kind of punches you a little bit. It comes out a little further.
All right, someone write this stuff. This is why we need a moderator so they can write these kind of things down.
These are all good ideas.
These brilliant ideas.
What do we miss while we're just not having any good ideas at all?
Terrible.
Ah, man. Party.
Say his name 3 times.
The giant joystick, the dumbest thing Arcade1Up ever did. Yeah, not too many arguments there. That was early days, I guess. I'd like to know the story of that, John. Come on, just come on the show and tell us what happened with that. I'd love to know. Oh, man. Okay, some license talk. Definitely can't get into that. Mortal Kombat Collectorcade is garbage. Yeah, I talked about that. This is an interesting one, actually, that I'll pull this up on the screen here. What was it with the port data that showed the single XL that was it was a WrestleFest XL. It was only one. I forget how it was labeled. It was like a vendor sample or something like that. But it was interesting because it didn't have the name Supreme. It had XL. Might not be something you can talk about, but obviously the WrestleFest Supreme is a known, it's a known product. Even if it's not something you're carrying specifically, it's a known product that was talked about for early next year as a club exclusive. I guess this kind of maybe goes along the lines of, if they're potentially carrying over the Arcade1Up name, would the form factors potentially also carry some of the same names? Would a Ultra become a Deluxe? Would a Supreme be called an XL? Do you think those naming rights or assets, whatever you want to call them, likely came over as well?
I would imagine they would stick. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
The single, I'm 99% positive. I'm like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I've actually seen it, and I think it's like a sample prototype. I could be wrong. If there's anybody in the Basic Fun world who's listening right now and wants to blow up my phone and tell me I'm wrong, please do it.
Nobody
But I
watches
think,
this show. I wouldn't worry about it.
oh my goodness. But I believe it was a sample. That's because I've seen it, but that's all I've seen. So
Yeah. There was a comment. It just sort of made me think about this. I guess I should ask. I mean, Basic Fun will probably be at CES. Do you know or expect that they will be talking about any of their arcade products at CES?
I would hope they talk about arcade products at CES.
Because that's what they have to talk about, right? That's CES relevant.
I mean, if Basic Fun goes to CES and talks about Care Bears, I think that's a missed opportunity.
I mean, if it's a talking Care Bear, that'd be kind of cool. But
No, just a plush Care Bear.
just as
On a side note, by the way, which would be pretty cool, if if Basic Fun decides to keep going with the claw machine, which I think is cool. People seem to love the claw machine.
I like
Dude,
it.
Basic Fun has so much plush. Like
Oh,
they
the
could,
Marvel one, right?
dude, they could do all like the possibilities are endless. I think, and I could be wrong. B Kirby, you might know more specifically, but like I believe like they have whole packages of like you could just get like miscellaneous like small plush for vending machines. And like but like each different brands, like I don't know if they have Marvel, but like that would be kind of a thing where it'd be like all like sort of those things. So I was like, man, if you could sell the claw machine and it's like, okay, now which toy pack do you want to come with your claw machine? And then you could like order that alongside. That would be pretty dope.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. But if they do that claw machine again, don't do the silly slim skinny like this SpongeBob one. I mean, it's cool they did a different art style, but they made it skinny for whatever reason.
So you want a corner claw.
I mean, preferably, and if you could make the cord come right out of the corner, that would be the best part.
Exactly. No, the claw is this big, but the back corner, like the claw can't get into it, and that's where all the good toys are.
Just make it all face, no depth. So
That's right.
There's nothing, you can't actually maneuver the claw at all.
Super wide, but not long. Got it.
Yeah, that's the theme.
That's the theme.
Yeah. No, but if they do it again, make it the right size for Pete's sake. At least the original claw machine was an XL width. So that part was good. It wasn't quite tall enough, but they got the width right. So
I like the idea from Stupid Fat Hobbit. Do the claw machine like from Toy Story with all the with all the dude, that would be so
the claw.
awesome.
Yes. Oh, you do that pretty well, actually. It's kind of frightening.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that though. That'd be cool.
Steps. What how'd you put this? What are your top takeaways for Basic Fun buying A1Up assets?
Yeah, she's like, don't make me rewatch the whole thing. Just tell me the things that I can talk about.
Just tell you what matters. Assume that anything that Arcade1Up knew how to make, Basic Fun now has that ability. Whether you could probably assume that whether that's through tooling or through like spec sheets or designs or any of those things that they kind of like Neo in the Matrix. They plugged in and now they know how to Arcade1Up. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. They'll have the Arcade1Up name. I imagine if there were any patents or anything that Arcade1Up had available, they probably grab things like that too. So like, and anything that would have brought value to that brand, they probably picked up. So what I would expect is that the next round of products that they make would be quality that we're used to seeing, that we would see, familiar coin doors, things of that nature. And that's what we can expect. Aw. That's so mean, Kev.
So
Why?
hurtful.
Why?
Dang.
Wow. All right.
Well, let's just start all over then. We'll try again.
Fuck. All right. So have you guys ever heard of Warhammer?
And we're out.
Gosh, nothing like someone jumping in the chat and just saying, "Quit your job, jackass."
Quit the job that's not paying a damn thing.
Guys, all you've done is lost money.
So harsh. All the support we've given your show, the 3-4 times we've watched.
I love that show. Now I can't even watch that show because now I know someone who shares my name just hates me. Really brought me down a notch, Paul.
It's hard.
I was seeing our 400 plus viewers and I thought we were on to something, but you know what? Kev's keeping us humble. Thanks. You know what, Kev? You're making us better. Thank you.
I just learned your name was Manny. I didn't even know that his name was Manny too. So that's
actually
weird.
Kev Gretz Manny.
It's
a weird all a charade.
Great.
Actually, I probably wouldn't recommend it because they're all MDF, so you don't know what chemicals were used to glue them together.
No.
Actually burning an A1Up cabinet, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Can they commit to not making? I think they kind of learned their lesson about the TN monitors. I don't think we ever really found out why they used those, but I think they heard enough about that's probably not going to be an issue going forward. Would that be relatively safe to say?
I sincerely hope that we're moving forward with BOEs, and I will make sure to ask that question, and we will never be surprised ever again.
Fair enough. Yeah. Manny would have. I hear he tells a lot in email.
I mean, he knows the goings on of the company from top to bottom, so it's kind of hard to beat that. That's the real insider.
He's got to be hating all this now, all this attention with this poor guy just trying to do his job. Let's see. This is funny. This is a funny one. This guy wanted to make a recreation of the giant Pac-Man and giant Tetris machines. I'm sure somebody would have bought it, but like how giant could you like fit it in your basement? Because that would have been.
I think someone needs to do like a full-size Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, don't get what's his name? Crap. Big rhythm game guy. What's his name? Shoot. He's all into rhythm games. I can't remember his name now. Crap. I'm sorry. You know who you are, but yeah, that's been his dream all along. I saw a speaking of large games, it was Tetris played with drones. It was huge. It was like over a building. It was gigantic. It was crazy.
Nice.
It's very, very cool. Hey, yep. Dr. Torque says thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Glad you're able to get it. An update on that. I'm told that all of the refunds have processed. So if you were expecting a partial refund for your iconic arcade cabinet and you haven't seen that for some reason, please do exactly what Jay Pace did and reach out and include me in your email. He called me out by his name, by my name, and he got what he wanted right away. So obviously want to help you guys out and make sure you're getting what's yours. Be cool to the people. I've seen a few emails coming through where people are just like subhuman in their responses. I don't believe the customer's always right, so like let's not get me to respond to you. That'd be great. Like we're all human beings. They're trying to do a job. They're trying to help you out as quickly as possible. So I do ask if you're reaching out to them, like treat them nice, man. They're just doing a job. So
Yeah.
that's my rant.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's been some odd situations for sure.
Yeah.
Higher quality buttons. Yeah.
See if I could get them made out of like elephant tusk,
Ooh, yeah. I mean, you know,
hand carved.
yeah, ivory. There's no shortage of that known endangered species by that.
Well, the buttons are so small. Like,
It only takes
have
like
no
one
effect.
elephant.
Yeah. To make Pac-Man.
This is it's the day I didn't wear my ASPCA hat, which is probably good. Yeah. I love animals. Kill all the elephants to make buttons. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna clip that one.
Yeah, the stool covers will be baby seal.
It's terrible. Uh, Frogger? I mean, yeah, why not?
Frogger could be cool.
Yeah, rhino horns. Why not? It's even better. So, Sanwas, yeah. I mean, it'd be really interesting to have an actual discussion about the cost differences. I don't know. It was certainly a topic of discussion for years with Arcade1Up in terms of can we just get authentic buttons? How much more could it possibly cost when it only costs a consumer, just going through a regular retailer X amount? Can it really be that much? And I can't speak to that. I have no idea.
You know
But
what?
it's-
If John's still in the chat, I bet you he could rattle that number
Oh, I know he
right
could.
off the top of his head.
I know he could because he was
Tell
the
you
one
exactly how
fighting it
much
for years.
extra that would cost per
I know he
unit.
could. Yeah. I don't know. Yep. Yep. Okay. So yeah, just more comments about our Arcade1Up situation. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be better days ahead. I know there's still a lot of information that hasn't been confirmed. A lot that I think it's probably still being figured out. Honestly. So it'll just be fun to talk about it.
What I need to do is I need to onboard someone who just who makes the joysticks and the buttons and just sell those separately at a reasonable price. And
I mean,
you get them in a day and a half.
it's with the way you guys work. I mean, I'm still amazed at how quickly you got those WrestleFest cabinets out to people when they
Yeah.
first started shipping. I mean, I was floored. It was people ordering like at 3 or 4 o'clock the one day. The next morning they had it at their doorstep.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
We're like the Jimmy Johns of big shit.
That's basically your tagline. Yeah, it was impressive.
I'll run it by the CEO. I think it'll get edited.
Couple words.
Yeah,
But
can't
I
say
mean,
Jimmy Johns.
that's the part. Yeah. Honestly, though, that did not get nearly enough coverage in my mind. There were a lot of things that were, maybe didn't go as well as they would have liked, but that part was fantastic. Yeah, it was just very cool.
Yeah, I think everyone should, make sure you let Basic Fun know that fast shipping is super important because no one is faster than us. So make sure I stay in business. That'd be great.
I mean, and honest, I don't know anybody else that does the large product,
No one.
warehousing and shipping like you guys do. Because the
that's
number of
the-
warehouses you have, the infrastructure,
Yeah.
the whole deal.
So that's actually that's what we're built for. When I first started out, I worked in a warehouse in Pennsylvania, but I worked back in like the large bulk section or whatever, and I was single handedly shipping out like 600-pound pools, pool tables, like you name it, like massive things. So arcades is small peanuts.
I can't even imagine logistics
I
behind
said
that.
small peanuts just to make sure we're enunciated.
With a T.
With a T.
Yeah.
More joystick jokes.
Yeah, Vic, I don't know. I guess remains to be seen. I think we'd all like that. Oh, this is a good, kind of a good question. I guess there haven't really been any updates with Wonderland beyond what you shared before.
Yeah, the Kickstarter orders, I've seen them in the factory. They're getting loaded up and ready to go. Getting everything set up for the actual import process, like bringing everything through customs and all that. That took a little bit longer. A lot of times when you're setting up like someone who's never imported before, it just takes a little bit longer to do that. But as far as actual product production and things like that, it should be starting to flow at any point here. Like I said, I mean, I've seen all the products stacked up in the warehouses and stuff. Obviously, the factory wants to get it out of the factory ASAP because these things are freaking huge. So they want it out. So yeah, it's just the brand and our kind of like our importing compliance team have just been going back and forth and making sure all the rules are followed and everything's documented, and sometimes it takes longer than expected. So,
Yeah. This is kind of an interesting question. I don't know if we have the answer to it, but I'd kind of like to know that myself.
is the news and information going to come fast next year when they make their announcement, or is it going to be a slow drip? It'll probably come faster than they want it to and a lot slower than you'd prefer. It's
That's
a
probably
tough
true.
question, right? There's obviously everything that still needs to get negotiated out. Um, all anyone wants to know is like, hey, what games are coming out, and like you'll know that when the game announcements come out, right? Like there's no world where I'm going to like leak the next title before they're ready to announce the next title, right? There's too many things that go on with licensing and everything else that I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, as soon as they're ready to make announcements, you can come check out the Arcade Insiders every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, and like, subscribe, ring the bell, share it with your friends. Your mom loves the show. But we'll bring you the answer as soon as we know the answer. Hopefully, I'd love to see them announce stuff at CES. I don't know if that's on the timeline or not. They'll tell me, and then the next Thursday after they tell me, I'll tell you. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Oh, but it'll be too slow, Biggie. At the end of the day, everyone wants to know everything like right away, and it's gonna come out as it comes out. Let's get to 500 subs. We need super chats.
I just was informed yesterday that one of my kids decided to unsubscribe from our channel. So I was devastated.
Wow.
Yeah. She wasn't finding enough content that was relevant to her
Well,
needs.
to be fair, this is like an adult?
She's an
adult
11-year-old.
It's probably for the better, Paul. Like,
Yes.
take that as a parenting win. Your child was like, "This show's not for me, Daddy."
I was honestly like, how did you find the channel? Like, I've never even told you what it.
Well, it's funny because
you don't need to be subscribed to this channel.
the guy that I bought like the podcast microphone and all like the setup stuff for it, he's my neighbor. He used to do a podcast. I'm like, don't you got like a bunch of shit lying around that I can just buy off you? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, when's your podcast? He's like, me and my kid will check it out. So it's like my neighbor was watching our podcast on like the living room TV with his like I think his son's like 9 years old or something like
whoops.
that, and I'm just like, oh, like I hope we keep it cool. But it was awesome. I mean, he shouted out. That was the week. I shouted out Gray. It was like a baseball comment or something. Let's call Gray best neighbor ever.
I caught that. Yeah, I was wondering. That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
John had an official response on Sanwas.
Oh, look at this. Yeah.
Very technical, very buttoned up response there. Considerably more than
Considerably
clones.
more. Okay. Well, yeah.
There we go.
Get over it. I feel like that's not the first time, probably also not the last time that we'll hear the get over it. Well, I guess we'll see what Basic Fun decides to do.
Bobby has a great growth opportunity for us. We do meander. Like if there's some weeks where we come in, we have our outline of like every single topic, and then sometimes we're like looking at the clock. It's like, hey, it's been 2 hours. We should probably shut up and go home at some point.
But our whole thing has just been, let's bring the people into the conversations that you and I have every week, usually several times a week. And this is literally how it goes. It's just random, whatever nonsense, and usually more off color than this, but still, it's pretty random. And so there you go.
Well, Bobby, I'm sorry that we've let you down, that our content hasn't been as dense as the hosts of the show. I recommend you like, subscribe, and share it, and maybe the next one will be better. No promises.
The more subscribers we have, the more compact the show.
That's right. That's right. We'll get better. As you can super chat us to shut up and turn off the mics.
Oh man. Oh, now we're having a it's sticks and buttons discussion. That's always that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, Josh.
We're not here for the content. Thanks, Josh.
That's what a content creator likes to hear.
Appreciate the hell out of you, brother. It's okay. We open the show with essentially every week we're dumbasses that have no idea what we're doing or what we're talking about. Thanks for coming and talking.
Oh man,
fair.
That makes my day.
Yeah. So I think we've gotten multiple comments that we bring no value. Kev called us out. So
yeah,
there he is. Kev reinforcing it. Got the feedback, guys. We suck at this, so we're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's clear. I mean, that's what every other content creator does, right? They just lean into the. Oh man! All right. Well, I think we've exhausted the things that we're actually allowed to talk about or have information that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So
hopefully there's more going on. Hopefully we answered like one question. I feel like we at least said some things definitively that other people were speculating on. So at least there's that.
Yeah.
But like every week, guys, we have no clue what we're talking about. We're idiots and we can barely operate a show. We've only lost money for 2 months running. So
and that's all true. Yeah.
It's all 100% true. Yeah, we're very terrible at this. So keep coming back. We'll probably be worse next week, and it'll be a good time. So, Paul, I think we should probably shut this shit off.
I think we should.
Awesome.
Should absolutely do that. Yes, we'll keep providing context for the things that we may or may not know about.
Nothing. Hey, it was great seeing everybody. Thank you for jumping in. Always a fun time. We're not going to see you next week, though, because it's freaking Christmas.
That's a good point. Thursday is Christmas, so I hope everybody has.
Unless there's breaking Arcade1Up news.
Oh, then we'll be right there.
Because if other people can like walk out on apparently like they're birthing children, we can walk out on Christmas. We'll just cancel Christmas and have a show.
The birthing of our Lord and Savior.
Wow. But yeah, but if it's Arcade1Up news.
Oh, well, in that case.
I'll be a confession. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful evening. We'll see. Will it be next year? Yes.
Technically, I think
we'll see you next year
on the first.
On the first.
Crap. Is it? Okay.
Ooh, I don't know what kind of mood I'll be in. Uh-oh.
It's a day after. It's not
It's the first. Yeah. Right. So we'll be hungover.
So you're gonna be recovering, but by then, yeah.
No, you never have to recover unless you stop.
Good point. Our life tips for you kids. There you go.
There you go. Don't stop drinking. All right.
See you in the new year.
Take it easy, everybody.